is Brittany Carter. When I was younger, I really didn't get a lot of discipline. I was kind of spoiled. I got a lot of the things I wanted, and my dad was around, like, in and out. And when I was younger, I was sexually abused by my mom's boyfriend, and then once I told, he kidnapped my mom, and she was found. We had to go through trial, and that took about a year. That happened when I was around the age of 8, and by the time we were finished with the trial and everything, I was 10, and around that time, that's when my mom put me in counseling, and I stayed in counseling until from 10 probably to age like 12, and that's when I started, I guess you would say, acting out. That's when I started cutting and having suicide attempts, and I was hospitalized from. It started at the age of 12, and when I first went to a psychiatric hospital, since they really don't diagnose kids, they wait until they're older, like, young teens, early adult, around like 17, 18. So I was just initially diagnosed with major depression and PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And I was put on, in the beginning, Zoloft and Risperidol, and they took me off of that because both of those, the side effects, I got really bad cottonmouth. So after that, I was put on Prozac and Seroquel, and I was on that probably from the age of 13 to 15. And during that time, I was in regular high school, but I kept having erratic behavior, acting out and stuff. So it started off with me going to therapy half day, well, school and then therapy half day. And then I eventually got kicked out of that. And then I went to like alternative school where they had therapy all day, and I got kicked out of that. And I was sent to my first placement, which is a level 12. That means you can go home on the weekends and you just stay there like through the week, like once you make level. And you're only supposed to be on orientation for a week, and I was on it for 3. At AWOL, which is absent without leave. The first week I was there, so I wasn't showing any progress, and they moved me to a level 14, which is a residential treatment, a lockdown placement, and we don't have a lot in California, so I was sent to Aurora, California. I was 15 when I got sent there, and once I was released and be able to come back home, I was 17. I started when I was probably around, well, first time was around 12, and it was just because I was really, really angry, and I did it, and it was more at first in the beginning as a taught behavior, because when I first originally got hospitalized, I had a cut because I was mad, but once I got there at the hospital, and then I learned different type of things and different way of cuttings and suicide attempts from the other girls that's there, because in the hospitals with those girls, they all just kind of feed off of each other. Everyone takes on each other's problems, and you get different ideas from being there. So I had the first cut right here. You can't really see it because they were superficial, and then it moved on to over here, and then I started with my right leg, But it was always either on my leg or on my left arm. I usually didn't cut on my right arm. Probably mostly because I'm right-handed. And that's the reason all the cuts are on my left arm. I feel the Prozac and Abilify did because it didn't have a lot of side effects as far as like weight gain and the cotton mouth and things like that. I overall felt I was in a better mood and a better place when I was taking it. And I don't know, when I got out of placement, I think I stopped taking it as more of a rebellious thing and just the fact that I don't want to be on medication or whatever. So the other medications, I know they help with my mood, but I think it was more because it was like a sedative. Like, it wasn't really helping me, but it was slowing down my motor skills, kind of putting me out of it. So that's why my mood seemed better, and I wouldn't see angry in that because I was out of it, you know?
So it was just sedating you, not really.
In the beginning, yeah. But the last medication they put me on, I feel it was helping. But the ones before, no. Yeah, because I dealt with that depression for a really, really long time, and I had a lot of feelings of guilt, and the thing happened with my mom, feeling like if I would have never said nothing, he would have never, you know, flipped out on her. And I don't know, it's just sometimes I get so mad, I feel like that's my only outlet, and it kind of gives me to stop focus on the pain I feel, kind of focus on that pain. Yeah, when I was in counseling, you know, it helped. I was able, because at first I was just going to counseling once a week, and then once a week for family therapy. But once, you know, I started still showing the same type of behavior, my therapy got boosted up where I was going to therapy every day. And that kind of helped because it at least gave me an hour out of the day where I could, you know, talk about my problems and wouldn't have to worry about anybody judging me or trying to give me advice or anything. They could just, you know, listen, and I won't have to worry about someone trying to give me advice on how to make it better. It's just sometimes someone needs someone, you know, they could just talk to and get everything off their chest and not have to worry about criticism and judging. Well, what started with me trying to attempt suicide was, I don't know really where I got the idea from, but I remember I was going to counseling and I would ask my therapist a lot of questions about suicide and cutting, and I would get a lot of books from the library, and kind of was infatuated with it, and the music I was listening to really didn't make it better. One of my favorite like alternative rock artists was Papa Roach, and he had a song that was basically about suicide and self-mutilation, and listening to that song was the first time that I actually had cut myself repeatedly, because I would get mad and cut maybe once here or once there, but that was the first time I cut myself repeatedly. And the nurse seen it at my school when I was in middle school, and I was sent under evaluation and sent to Delamo Hospital. And when I went there, you know, I was 13. It was because the adolescent unit is from the ages of 13 on until 17. And so, you know, you're there with kids all different ages, and that's when I heard the different ideas about overdosing and this and that. And so I was at the hospital for maybe 2.5 weeks, and I was having a lot of time there, and then my mom was wondering, like, why did it seem like everything was getting worse? And the doctor explained to her that I had a lot of emotions built, like a lot of emotions, bad emotions. Like, basically, they said it's like I'm the top of a iceberg, and it's like barely coming up out the water, and all my emotions is there, and little by little it comes up. And so I guess when I was at the hospital, that's when everything that was going on started coming up. And I was released from there, and maybe a couple days or a week later, that's when I had my first suicide attempt. I overdosed on pills with alcohol, and my throat started to feel like it was swelling and closing up, and I got scared, and I called ambulance, and they came, and then that's when I was rushed to the hospital. And then that's when I got sent to College Hospital, and from there it was on and off, in and out of hospitals, probably to the age of about 15, which then I was sent to placement and an out-of-state placement. Still was displaying the same behaviors, but it got better over time. And once I had enough credits to graduate from the placement in Colorado, that's when I got sent back. And I was doing good, and I go back and forth, and now I haven't done it for a really long time. Like, I get mad and I still think about it, but I think now it keeps me from maybe doing it, because I do think about it a lot. It's just the fact I don't want to have to deal with going back into a hospital or deal with hurting my brother any more than I have. So I kind of just think about it and just really kind of keep it as a thought, try to focus my mind.